Here's a full, emotionally rich story inspired by the title of that video, written in a way that could fill a 15-minute YouTube-style narration. He spotted them the moment he stepped into the busy hallway, two little girls, twin sisters, sitting against the far wall. Their heads were bowed, lunchboxes unopened, walls of noise surrounded them, chatter, laughter, the clatter of trays, and yet, the world seemed to move around them as if they were invisible. He paused. The crowd's indifference struck him like ice. Everyone passed by. No one asked if they were okay. No one offered a seat or a helping hand. Just blank stares, or worse, no glance at all. His heart clenched. That man was a single dad, named Daniel, who had lost his wife 2 years ago. He came to the school to pick up his daughter after her day ended. He had seen grief, hardship, and loneliness, but what he saw now felt deeper, rawer. The girls looked small and fragile. He realized. They weren't just children ignored. They were twins, and they were deaf. Daniel remembered what that world felt like. His late wife, Mira, had lost her hearing in an accident. Overnight, their lives had shifted. Words vanished into silence. Conversations slipped through fingers that didn't know the signs. Friends slowly drifted away because communicating felt hard. People stopped calling, stopped visiting. Eventually, they stopped caring. For Mira, the loneliness had been suffocating. For Daniel, the helplessness had burned. He had spent months, no, years, learning sign language for her, desperate to reach across the silence, to say, "I love you, I miss you, I'm here," in the only language she could understand. He took a slow breath. Then he stood, walked, not rushed, but deliberately, toward the twins. As he neared, the younger sister, Alina, flinched. The other, Aisha, drew her knees closer. Their guarded silence was a fortress built of pain. Daniel dropped to one knee, soft eyes, gentle smile. He raised his hand. Fingers moved. Calm, kind, hello. There was no fanfare, no applause, just a silent sign, hanging in the air. The sisters froze. Their eyes widened. Hope, timid, fragile, flickered in the dim hallway. Aisha was the first to respond. Her fingers trembled as she signed back. You know. Yes, Daniel signed. I know. Alina relaxed slightly, tentative, unsure. Daniel reached over and gently opened their lunchbox, which had been stubbornly shut. He lifted the lid, then looked at them, silently asking if it was okay. Aisha nodded, and as she lifted a sandwich, Alina cracked a small half-smile, the first sign of trust. That day, as he walked out of the school with his daughter, he didn't leave empty-handed. He carried with him 2 shy smiles, and a promise, he would not let them stay invisible. The challenge. Over the next few days, Daniel found the twins again, in class, in hallways, when people hurried past without a word. He saw the loneliness, the awkward stares, the outright avoidance. Some kids whispered, some laughed. Teachers looked uneasy, uncomfortable, not cruel, but indifferent. At home, Daniel paced. He couldn't stop thinking about them. He remembered how Mira used to say, "Being deaf isn't the loss of hearing, it's only a new way to listen." He knew what they needed wasn't pity. It was understanding. It was connection. So he began. He started attending school meetings. He asked about the twins. He asked if the school offered sign language support. The answers were polite but shaky. They had no resources, no trained staff, no awareness. But Daniel didn't give up. He volunteered. He told them, "I can help." Slowly, he organized evening sign language sessions for willing parents, teachers, and kids. He brought books. He taught basic greetings. Fingers curled and bent. Hands moved. Laughter echoed in the halls after school. Some parents were skeptical. "Why learn it?" they asked. "It's not like we need it." Teachers nodded politely but skipped classes. Some kids laughed behind their hands. But Daniel persisted. He reminded everyone, this isn't just for them. It's for all of us. For kindness. For inclusion. Because communication isn't only spoken, it's felt. Turning point. Weeks passed. Then months. At first, the twins signed only with Daniel. Then with a few kids. Then with their teacher when she greeted them good morning. One crisp autumn morning, Aisha stood in the hallway and signed, "Good morning," to a passing student. The student stopped, looked, then grinned, returned the sign, "Good morning." Alina's eyes lit up. Then she signed to the student next to her. That student signed back. Suddenly, the hallway felt quieter in a good way. You could hear the hush of connection. Then came the proudest moment. During recess, a group of children gathered around the twins. They played games, but with sign language. Laughter, fingers tapping, hands moving, a language rising out of silence. One of the older kids, a boy named Sam, looked at Daniel and nodded. "Thank you," he mouthed silently. Daniel stood back, heart full, tears threatened. Not proud, but grateful. Resolution and message. By the end of the school year, the twins were no longer invisible. They were part of something bigger, a small community learning to listen with hands and hearts. Teachers used simple signs at the start of class. Parents greeted them. Kids waved. Hi. At the last assembly, Daniel stood up. In front of the whole school, parents, teachers, students, he signed, "In silence we can still be heard." The auditorium burst into applause. But the real magic was in the eyes of the twins. Bright, alive, seen. Later that night, Daniel sat on his porch, looking at the stars. He thought of Mira, and how she once said, "Love doesn't always speak, sometimes it signs." He whispered into the darkness, "We heard." And for the first time since her passing, he felt maybe not so alone. Because sometimes, all it takes is one hello, one reaching hand, to change someone's world for good. If you like, I can also expand this story into a full 15-minute video script, with scene directions, narration cues, and emotional beats, ready for recording or animation.